A one, two, three.
And I just want to share with you what we talked about in Woman to Woman this week. This week in Woman to Woman, we talked about human emotions. The question was, did Jesus experience human emotions while on earth? The simple answer to that is yes. Jesus experienced all of the emotions that we do, and the emotions themselves are not sin. For example, one of the most common emotions that people ask about is anger. Anger itself is not sin. Most often, it is our response to anger that causes a sinful action. We have to have a plan in place, just like last week when we talked about temptation, so that when we get angry, we make an appropriate response and we choose to respond in a healthy manner rather than in a sinful or an unhealthy manner. That's just one of the things that we talked about. Something else that came up in the lesson that was very impactful is we talked about an atmosphere. An atmosphere is a response to a spiritual stimuli or a spiritual environment. Okay, so you have an atmosphere, and the atmosphere sustained over time becomes a climate. A climate sustained becomes a stronghold, and that could be a good stronghold or a bad stronghold. And then a stronghold sustained becomes a culture. If you want to change the culture, whether it's in your household, whether it's in your church home, whether it's in your neighborhood, if you want to change a culture, it starts by changing the atmosphere. And just like an atmosphere can be changed, and you can tell when you walk into a room or when a certain person walks into a room, you can tell if the atmosphere changes. And just like an atmosphere can change for the bad, an atmosphere can change for the good. So if we want to begin to see a change in our culture or in the climate that we recognize, and the climate simply means that you can predict what's going to happen. And just like you can predict that in Florida's climate, oranges will grow, just like you can predict that in Michigan weather, apples will grow, or in Idaho, potatoes can grow, you can have a similar climate where you can predict what is going to happen. We want to create the climate in our churches where miracles take place, and it begins by setting the right atmosphere. I hope this has helped you. Please join us if you're in the Detroit area for Woman to Woman each Thursday at Impact Church, 12844 Elmdale at the corner of Dickerson. Until next time, take care.